Hello, my name is Amina and I'm your decision-making specialist. And today I had a client call. I've been working with him for, he asked me something that we had talked about 6 years ago. So he's been with me for a while. He's a man who has owned his own business and began as just a single entrepreneur and now is doing business just everywhere in the world. Very, very good at his business, good at strategy, knows how to make business decisions, absolutely wonderful in that, works very hard at it day and night. And when we were talking today, he said, I had been talking with him about doing maybe some online classes, and he had listened and said that he had a couple of ideas, and next time we had a session, he would let me know what they were while we were working his session. And so we were talking on the phone, and he said, you know about online classes? And I said, a bit. And he said, well, I could do one. And I thought, wow, okay. Because we've been trying to find, he's been working so hard on his business that he hasn't worked so hard on his life and on his relationships. And we're working for him to tiptoe out into being and doing and enjoying something beyond always believing that he's one step away from not having a business, which is totally not true. It's just that most people that have a business have that part of them that is still working and running and trying to grow the business, to have it get bigger, more this and more that, because they remember when it was really hard, or they remember some of their failures. And so that takes up the majority of their time. There's not much left over for themselves, for their families, for friends, for vacations, for anything. And I said, well, tell me about the class that you're thinking of. And he said, well, I've decided there's something that I am an expert in other than business. And I said, wow, okay. I, thinking this is a major aha breakthrough moment. And he said, yeah, he said, I realized from our talks that I am an expert in not letting myself be happy, not letting myself get even near the cup of happiness. And I said, tell me. And then he referred to a time 6 years ago when he had this piece of property and he wasn't living in there. The family didn't live in there. He wasn't going to rent it anymore. It was just kind of there. And he had planted a lot of olive trees. And then he had sold and moved to a different house. And somebody had come by, a realtor, and said, would you ever like to sell this? And he thought, yeah, I would. And so he sold it. He got more than what he intended, more than what he had paid for it. And the new owner was somebody who was interested in making olive oil and said that he would give my client 25% of everything that he made on the olive oil, plus his share of olive oil. And the business guy was just so happy, he said, for an eyelash of a moment. He said, I don't even know if it was happiness. He said, there was some emotion. So we decided to call it happiness. And he said, you know, it was gone in a second. It was gone in a second. And I was on to something else. And he said, I realized from our talks that back then and every other time that I could have been happy or content or whatever word, joyful, whatever word. He said, I don't even know what the word is to use. And he said, and I don't. He said, and then I realized that I think horrible thoughts. And I keep those right in front of me. He said, I hug those thoughts practically. And I never feel warm. I never feel satisfied. I never feel as if I've done enough, am enough, have gone far enough. He said, I look at my stock. I look at the growth of my business. I look at my retirement for everyone in my family. I look at my house. I look at my airplane and my boat, and I look at all the toys. And I always believed when I had those, I would be happy. And he said, I realize it's not about what I have. It's about if I let myself, give myself permission to feel what I have. And I don't. And I don't. And matter of fact, not only do I not feel that for myself, I am making sure that no one around me gets to help me feel differently. Sometimes if somebody says, I love you, I don't believe it. Because I don't think I'm lovable. He said, see, I was listening. All this time I really was listening to it. And we laughed and I said, I know you were. Tell me more. And he said, I'm actually starting to argue with people so they can't be close. And it's like I start to walk towards somebody and then I back away. I am doing everything possible not to feel happy. I didn't realize that it's not like I woke up and said, wow, how many ways can I not feel happy? No, he said, I didn't know I was doing it until now. I've just been doing it. And so we're starting step by step to check in with him about that belief that being happy is not okay for him. Is he afraid it will go away? Is he afraid it doesn't really exist? Does he believe he doesn't deserve it? Is he not looking for it from people that he wants to be loved? What's going on? So we didn't just, and I don't know how you do it if somebody tells you something. I want to listen more. And I want him to bring more information forward to feel safe enough. So I didn't roar in and say, oh, well, I care about you. Remember, I care about you. And your wife does, and your friend does, and this person does. No, I wanted to leave that space. He had cleared away that area. And I call that a sacred area. When somebody tells me something that's really profound, really important to them, I leave that space of silence because I know that things are kind of bubbling, things are wafting up. Another door has opened, another branch in their brain, in their memory, and that they're about to make this marvelous discovery about themselves. And all he needs is somebody that just leaves space and listens, gives him a turn, an opportunity, permission to tiptoe in and see what's going on about this not giving himself the right to be happy. So I hope that you are giving yourself the right to be happy, to be content, to feel some joy. If not, I'm hoping that you will take a little bit of cloud time and kind of leave space and see what comes as to the reason that you're not giving yourself that permission. And if it doesn't seem to come to you as it didn't seem to come to him, find somebody in your area or that you trust that you can talk to, that will just listen, give you space, not talk about themselves, be quiet while you look into your sacred space and find more about yourself. Take care, come back, take some time for you. You are worth it. And I will be here and I'll be watching for you. All right. Thanks for now. Bye. Take care.